Alright class, today we're going to multiply by one-digit numbers and by two-digit numbers. We're going to start off with our one-digit numbers. Both of this is a review from what you've done in 4th grade. And we'll move on, alright? So first things first, last night you had to estimate by rounding or by compatible numbers and show your work. So we're going to start with a little review. You have 5 problems, please work on them on your white. Alright. Let's start working. So we have 50 times 70, 52 times 78. 52 is going to round to
50.
Guess it would help if I had my pen selected. Okay, so 50 and 78 is going to round to
80.
80. So all we have to do is count how many zeros we have, which is 2. 5 times 8 is?
40.
We put that in front of it. Okay? Next one. 288 will round to
300.
300. You're going to multiply that by?
10.
I would have done 6, but okay. Count up our zeros. There's 2. 3 times 6 is?
18.
18. Next one, 522 times 9. I mean, times 29, sorry. 522 will round to?
100.
29 will round to?
30.
How many zeros?
3.
5 times 3 is?
15.
17 times 592. 17 will round to?
20.
592 will round to?
600.
How many zeros?
3.
6 times 2?
12.
Very good. We have 253 times 23. 253 will round to?
300.
Times? 20. Oh, I forgot a zero, huh?
Yeah.
There. Alright. Okay. So, now the last one. Some of you might have done 250 times 20 because it's that much closer to 250 than it is to 300. And that's fine because rounding are compatible numbers. It's not to find the exact number, it's to find something that's close to your number so you can check your work. Yes? Alright. So, let's move on. There it is. You can see that on theirs, down at the bottom, they did 250 times 20. But, alright. A planetarium can hold 345 seats. If there are 4 sold out shows, how many people will see it in all? So, there's 345 seats and they sold it out how many times? 4 times. So we have 345 times 4. They want us to estimate first of all. So we're going to estimate this. So we have 345 times 4. What are we going to round 345 to?
300.
You want to round it to 300, okay? We can do that. So we're going to round this to 300, and we're going to multiply that times 4. Oh, why did I put 5? Times 4. So that's going to be about, how many zeros do I have?
2.
And 4 times 3 is?
12.
12. There you go. So 1,200. That's going to be about what it is, okay? Now, we can come down here and we can start multiplying. 4 times 5.
20.
4 times 4.
16.
And then 4 times 3.
12.
So you said 20. So my 0, I carry my 2. That's 16. I add 2. 18. Carry my 1. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. So this is about that. Do you see how they're close to each other? So you can say, okay, my answer makes sense. That's all that rounding is used for. Okay? So here, they did the problem for us. They want to know what they want us to say a planetarium can hold 345 seats. There are 4 sold-out shows. How many people do see in the? How many people see the show in all? They want us to label the steps in order that you should complete them. So what is our first step going to be, class?
Rounding.
No, we're not rounding anymore. We're solving. They have the steps written in these little boxes. If you read inside the boxes, it tells you each thing that they're going to do. It says 300s times 4 equals 1200s. 1200s plus 100 equals 1300. 4 tens times 4 equals 16 tens. 16 tens plus 2 tens equals 18 tens. 5 ones times 4 equals 20 ones. Or 2 tens and 0 ones. So, which one is the first step? Show Walter. 5 ones times 4. So this is step 1. What's step 2? Four times 4. 4 tens times 4 equals 16 tens. 16 tens. Now look at. They talk about the 2 tens that they brought over. Because it was 20, there's a 0 in a 1 spot, 2 is in the 10 spot in 20, so they carry it over. Alright? This is called regrouping. So this is step 2. And step 3 is, I guess it's pretty obvious because it's the only one left. 300s times 4. Okay? So we have step 1, 2, and 3. Now, we've done that one. We talked about all the steps and how we're supposed to do it. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do one for ourselves. It says the tickets to the football game cost $8 each. If the school sells 237 tickets, how much money did they make? Please write 237 times 8 on your whiteboard so you can follow along with me as we do this step by step. Okay. Our first step is going to be to multiply 8 times the digit in the ones place, which in this case is 7. So 8 times 7. 56. So we put our 6 down here. We regroup our 5 to the tens place. Okay? Our next step is going to be to multiply 8 times the digit in the tens place. 8 times 3 is
24.
Now we have to add 5 to it. 24 plus 5 is 29. We put our 9 down and we carry the 2 or regroup it over to the hundreds place. Okay? Now we have to multiply 8 times the digit in the hundreds place. So 8 times 2 is
16.
plus 2.
18.
So we have 1,896. That is our answer. We have $1,896 is how many. That's how much they made off of their ticket sales. Okay. Now, inside your math book, we need to get through our couple examples so we can start working.
On page 132.
It's on page 132. Tonight, your independent practice on 133 and 134 will go along with the independent practice from the next section on 139 and 140. So, you should have some time in class to start it today, but that's what needs to be finished for class tomorrow so you're ready for your quiz. Also, lessons, chapter 2, lesson 7, lesson 8 will also be on your quiz tomorrow. So you're going to have 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are the lessons that will be on the quiz. Little 10-question quiz for tomorrow. All right? So here we go. We're going to multiply the ones. It says Grace and her 3 friends each paid $38 for an admission ticket to an amusement park. The total paid can be found by multiplying 4 and 38. Find 38 times 4. We're going to multiply the ones place first. 8 ones times 4 equals 32 ones. We have to regroup 32 ones as 3 tens and 2 1s. So the 3 goes in the tens place, right here. Our 2 goes in the ones place, okay? Now we multiply the 3 tens times 4. Okay, the 3 tens times 4 is
12.
12. When we add the 3, we get
15.
15. So we have 152. All right? So far, so good? So, the total amount paid for admission to the amusement park is 152. We already talked about it. It is 152. We solved it. $152. Now, they're using an area model to check our answer. Okay? It's a pretty neat idea. I like the area models. You guys seem to have gotten a pretty good grasp of them as well. So 4 times 30 is 120. 4 times 8 is 32. 120 plus 132 is 152. So by adding them together, we can see that yes, that is our answer. Okay? Remember, what property allows us to use an area model to check our answer? What property of multiplication allows us to use the area model for? What property?
Distributive.
The distributive property. Very good. All right. Now here we go. Now we're going to 3-digit times 1-digit. All right, 3-digit multiplied by 1-digit. So the first thing they want us to do is they want us to estimate this so we can check our answer against our estimate. All right. I normally check afterwards, but hey, if they want us to do it first, let's do it first. So they already rounded 317 times 5 to 300 times 5. So, simple thing to do, how many zeros do I have?
2.
After I put those 2 zeros down, what digits do I have left?
5 and 5.
And 5 and 3 multiplied by each other is 15. So I have 1,500. Okay? Now, we come down to the actual problem where it's 317 times 5. Our first step says 7 ones times 5, which equals... What does 7 times 5 equal?
5.
Okay, so I leave the 5 in the ones place, and I regroup the 3 to the tens place. 5 times 1 is?
5.
Plus 3? 8. Okay? Multiply 5 times the 3 that's in the hundreds place. 5 times 3 is?
15.
So I have 1,585. So down here on the bottom it says, so 317 times 5 is 1,585. And it wants us to check it with our estimate. Our estimate was 1,500. Is that about 1,585?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the other thing that you need to remember about estimates is which way you round. What do they do with this? Did they round up or down?
Down.
They rounded down. So if they made this number smaller, our answer, is it going to be larger or is it going to be greater than or less than our...
Less than.
It's going to be less than. So if you round down to check your answer, make sure your answer is less than. So 1,500 is less than 1,585. And the reason is because we rounded 317 to 300. So that number got smaller. Okay? Okay. Guided practice. Now, a lot of the multiplication problems are written in linear form, like this. 40 times 2. Alright, 42 times 2. Now they want you to estimate it. We're going to solve it. Then they give you the multiplication problem, and then they want you to check it. Okay? So, 42 times 2. Our estimate is 40 times 2. How many zeros do I have?
1.
So I need to put 1 0, and then what's left?
8. 2 and 4.
2 times 4 is
8.
8. Okay, we got a step ahead of ourselves. Okay, now down here we're going to do the actual problem. So we go 2 times 2.
4.
2 times 4.
8.
So 42 times 2 is 84. And we're going to check it. 80 is about 84. Is that, I would assume that that is correct. So our actual answer is greater than what we checked because look, did we round up or down?
Down.
We rounded down, so that means that this is going to end up less than, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your independent practice, you're going to do all of these. So through 18. Okay.
Is that for homework?
Yes. Don't forget, if you need to check the answers for the independent practice, will be on our video. That is what I'm doing right now while your screen is frozen, so you guys can't see them. So if you would like to see the answers, the important part about doing your homework is what must be done. You must show your work. Okay. Okay. So, Finn runs for 50 minutes every morning. How much time does he spend running in 2 weeks? Well, how many days are in 2 weeks?
7.
2 weeks?
Oh, 14.
14. So, if he runs 50 minutes a day for 14 weeks, 14 days, 2 weeks, how much does he run?
You would bring it 0 down?
I would write this different because I would put 14 on top and put 50 on bottom. Why would I do that?
So you could just carry down.
So I can just drop my 0 down and I can multiply this whole thing by 5. 5 times 4 is?
20.
So 5 times 1 is?
5.
Plus 2?
7.
So 700 minutes.
700 minutes is a long time.
Okay? 700 minutes is, how many hours is that?
Divided by 64.
Divided by 60.
Oh, yeah, 60.
So that would give us 11 hours and 40 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now look, this is important right here. Do you see how I just had to move the 0 down and then I multiplied this out like I was multiplying by a single digit number?
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is going to help you because when we multiplying by 2-digit numbers in this lesson, we're going to have to multiply it by 1 digit twice and add our answers together. Just like we did with our distributive property. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes. You can work on these on your wipe.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's check our work. 7 times 6 is?
42.
42.
24 plus 4?
24.
24 plus 4?
Oh,
So that's 282. 3 times 7?
21.
3 times 6?
24. 18.
20.
Plus 2? 20. 8 times 3?
24.
8 times 6?
48.
Plus 2?
50.
4 times 1?
4.
4 times 2?
8.
4 times 3?
12.
3 times 5?
15.
3 times 6?
18.
Plus 1?
21. Come on, 19.
19.
3 times 7?
21.
Plus 1?
22.
6 times 9.
24.
6 times 0.
0.
Plus 5.
5.
6 times 6.
36.
41.
41.
All right.
Where'd you get
Very
that?
good.
Where did you get that from?
There's your answers.
We were fast.
Okay. So, Jeremy reads 25 pages of a book or magazine every day of the year. How many pages does he read in 365 days? It wants us to show our work. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to estimate this. Same thing. We're estimating so we can check our work. So, what are we going to round 365 to?
400.
What are we going to round 25 to?
30.
So, our estimate says that he's going to read about how many pages?
1,200. 1,200.
12,000. 3 zeros and then a 12. Now, this is important here. Which direction did we round both of these numbers?
Up.
So if we rounded them both up, is this going to be greater or less than our answer?
Greater.
Okay, so this has to be greater than whatever we come up with down here, correct?
Yes.
All right. So this is where it gets a little tricky. We have to multiply this out by 1 digit. Okay? So we go here, here, and here.
Here, here, and here.
Okay, so 5 times 5 is? 5 times 6 is?
30.
Plus 2.
32.
5 times 3
50.
plus 3.
18.
Now, the 5 no longer exists. We've used it. We gave it to everybody. It's gone. So it becomes a 0. So really what we're going to do now is we're going to come up with the same exact problem, 365. Only instead of multiplying it by 25, the 5 is now gone, so we're multiplying it by 20. This is called a placeholder. A placeholder is very important when you multiply by multiple digits. Because otherwise you are going to mess up your problem. All you have to do with your placeholder is move it down to your answer. There's my 0. The rest of this is exactly what we just did with the 5. We're going to start with 2 times 5.
10.
Okay? 10. I put my 0, I bring my 1. 2 times 6,
12.
bring my 1. 2 times 3, plus 1.
7.
Now all I have to do is add these together. This is the distributive property. Look at, I basically took 25 and I multiplied this by 5, this by 20, and now when I add them together, I'm going to get my answer.
You forgot to add the 1. Yeah.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
13.
No, I didn't. 2 times 3, 2, 6, 13. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. You caught my error. Good job. All right. So now when I add it all together, it'll give me my answer. Okay, so 5 and 0 is 5. 2 and 0 is 2. 8 and 3 is 11. 7, 8, 9. 9,125. Is it close to 12,000?
No.
Well, it's less.
Kinda.
It's less than 12,000, which we knew it was going to be less than, right?
Yeah.
And if we look at how we had to round the numbers, I would say that this gives us a pretty accurate answer. All right.
By 2,875.
All right. Those of you that are in band, I will see you later. All right. Let's go ahead and keep going. If you need help with this, it will be on our YouTube page. So, a farmer plants 162 corn plants in a row. If there are 74 rows in a field, how many corn plants did he plant in all? So, first thing they want us to do is round. So, we're going to estimate. 162 will round to.
200.
And 74 will round to 70. I have 3 zeros. 7 times 4, 2 times 7, 14. So 14,000. Which direction did I round that? Down. And which direction did I round that? Now, look at, I rounded up 42, and I rounded down 4. So this should be less than or greater than?
Less than.
No, because look, I rounded up 42. I rounded down 4. So in total, I rounded up 38 numbers, right? So this should be greater. Okay? Just the way of checking our work. Now, this time I'm not going to do it in 2 separate problems, and I'm not going to circle all the digits to show you exactly where we're going. We're going to walk through it together. 4 times 2 is? 4 times 6 is?
24.
4 times 1 is?
6.
4 times 1 is?
4.
Plus 2 is? Now my 4 is gone. So all I'm going to do is bring down the placeholder here below the 8 in the ones place. Okay? I'm going to now move over to my 7, and I'm going to go the same exact way I did my 4. All it is a single digit multiplication problem. 7 times 2 is?
42.
7 times 6 plus 1.
43.
I'm going to cross out my 2, put a 4 over here. 7 times 1 is? Plus 4.
11.
I have to add these now. 8 plus 0 is? 4 plus 4?
9.
6, 9.
11,988.
Is that?
Whoa, hard. Whoa.
It's 1,000 away from it, but I figured it should be great that it's supposed to be less than the estimated answer, and it is, and it's pretty close. So I would say that yes, we're good. Okay?
Whoa. You are fancy.
All right. This is in your math book. Make sure you're copying it down as we go along. Number 1, it says estimate 44 times 10. Well, let's read our question first. I'm sorry. Domestic cats can run up to 44 feet per second and on land. At this rate, how many feet can a cat run in 12 seconds? So it wants us to find out 44 times 12. First thing we want to do is estimate. That way we have something to compare our answer to. We have 44 times 12 here. Up here we have 44 times 10. Which direction did we round?
Down.
We rounded down. So when we find our estimated answer, is that going to be greater than or less than our actual answer? It's going to be less than. So 44 times 10. How many zeros do I have?
1.
So I put my 0. Now 44 times 1 is?
4.
44. So I have 440, and this is going to be less than my actual answer because we rounded 12 to 10. Okay? Now here we go. 2 times 4 is?
8.
2 times 4 is?
8.
The 2 is gone. I bring it down here to hold its place. That's a place value holder. Placeholder. Okay? I'm going to do the same exact thing with the number 1 as I did with the number 2. 1 times 4.
4.
1 times 4. Now I add them together. 8 plus 0 is? 8 plus 4? I have to regroup? 5. So a domestic cat can run 528 feet in 12 seconds. Now our estimate was 440. And we said that our estimate was going to be...
Greater.
No, we said it was going to be less than, remember? Because we rounded down. Is it less than?
Yes.
Is it close?
Yeah.
Yes. So our answers are okay. Example number 2. It says find 165 times 31. The first thing they want us to do is estimate it. They gave us the numbers to estimate with. Which direction did they round? 165 they rounded which way? They rounded up. How much?
35.
35. So they rounded up 35. 31 they rounded down 1, right? So 35 minus 1, that's 34. So we rounded up 34 places. All right? I have 3 zeros. 3 times 2 is? Now, if I round it up 34 places, it's going to be greater than or less than my actual answer? Greater than. All right, put my little greater than sign. That way I remember. Okay? Now, the first thing we need to do is multiply out the ones. Okay? 1 times 5, 1 times 6, 1 times 1. 1 times 5 is?
5.
1 times 6 is?
6.
And 1 times 1 is? 1. Okay? So, now that I've used the 1, what do we do with the 1? The 1 is dead. So what goes in its place down at the bottom?
0.
This is our placeholder. Okay? Now, I start with my 3. What's the first digit I have to multiply 3 by?
5.
Exactly. 3 times 5 is?
15.
What do I do with my 1?
Carry it.
Regroup. Over which digit?
6.
There, I regroup it. 3 times 6?
18.
Plus my 1?
19.
What do I do with my 1?
Regroup it over the 1.
3 times 1 is?
3. 1. 3. Oh, no, 3.
Angel, 3 times 1 is?
3.
Plus 1.
4.
Now all I have to do is add. 5 plus 0 is? 5.
11.
8 plus
13.
it's 11. 6 plus 5 is 11. What do I have to do with my 1? I have to...
Carry it over the 1.
Right. 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. 4 and 1? 5. So, 165 times 31 is 5,115. We're going to check it against our estimate. Our estimate was 6,000. And we said our estimate was going to be what?
Wait. Isn't 8 plus 5 13?
It's a 6. My 6 looks like an 8 because my pen didn't write very well.
Oh.
Because look at 1 times 6 is 6. I'm sorry. I will fix that right now. Because you are 100% correct. That looks like an 8. Okay? 1 times 6 was 6. Okay. And we said that this was supposed to be greater, and is it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. All right? Now, here's our guided practice. This is what your homework is going to look like tonight. Okay? Or your classwork. So we have, first thing we have to do is estimate. So 30 times 10. So how many zeros do I have?
2.
2 zeros. What's left?
1 and 3.
And 1 times 3 is?
3.
Now if we look, we rounded 32 to 30. Which direction did we go? Down. 13 to 10. Which direction did we go? So this is going to be what?
Less.
It's going to be less than. We rounded both the numbers down. Okay? So here we go. We start with 3. 3 times 2.
6.
3 times 3.
9. No, it's 9. 9.
Angel. 3 times 3. Thank you, Angel. We've now used the 3, so the 3's gone.
The placeholder down.
We have to move a placeholder down to take the place of the 3. Now we start with our 1. What are we going to multiply 1 by first?
2.
1 times 2 is?
2.
1 times 3 is?
3.
Now we add our numbers together. 6 plus 0 is?
6.
9 plus 2 is?
11.
We regroup our 1. 3 times 1 is?
4.
3 plus 1, sorry, is 4. So 32 times 13 is 416. Now our estimate was 300. We said that that should be less than our actual answer, which is 416. And it is, and it's close, so it's reasonable. All right? Now, today, this is what you'll be working on. You need to make sure you show your work and all that good stuff. And your answers will be on the website for you to be able to use. Remember, the answers are one thing. You need to make sure you do what?
I don't know.
That's why 4 is complicated now.